And Mikita Badziakouski.
Yeah.
Rui Cao with about 42 big blinds, 5 million in chips. Mikita with the big chip lead, though he's about a 2-to-1 chip advantage over Rui here.
Position normal now.
And we'll see these two top pros playing heads up, both players with a whole lot of heads up experience. Rui Cao, it's been a long time since he's played heads up no limit hold'em, but he's very, very talented at heads up poker in general. One of the best for a while. He was one of the top heads up pot limit Omaha players online. He now is considered very, very good in heads up short deck. I was talking to Daniel Jungleman Cates, and he thinks that Rui is one of the toughest short deck players in the game. Mikita, more of a 6-max online no-limit hold'em player. I've played a decent amount of 6-max hands against Badziakouski. He doesn't play as much heads up, but these days you always need to be battling regs for the tables, and he's gotten a decent amount of heads up experience in doing that. You're not going to see too many folds from the button in heads up poker. This might qualify as one of the hands you want to fold. Mikita, though, raises and takes it down.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
So early on in this tournament, both Randy and I picked somebody to win. Randy picked Phil Ivey. He busted 2 bullets in this tournament. I picked Badziakouski, and here he is, heads up. He has the chip lead. Close it out for me, buddy.
So no 9s, call.
Now you could call with the 7s. Yeah, I'm just forgetting, but I will try to push it.
Badziakouski. Jack-9 of clubs, raising it up to 300K.
I folded 4 out of 4.
4 in a row. That's a good start.
Rui not getting dealt good hands in the big blind.
Have you had any short deck hands so far?
2-6 off, 2-9 off, 3-5 off.
All of them are full deck, huh?
Expensive, huh? $260.
Right, it's 260.
So heads up play. I actually kind of wonder who has more heads up experience. I know they both play a lot. It's probably equal, right?
Yeah, I would guess that Rui Cao has a lot more heads up experience in general, but Badziakouski may recently have more heads up no limit hold'em experience.
Right. I think I agree with you.
I mean, for a while, Rui was one of the top pot limit Omaha heads up players in the world.
And I think he would be playing mix, so it'll be like the half no limit, the half PLO. So he'll still play no limit hold'em. Badziakouski definitely known for playing 3 max, and I'm sure he played some heads up as well.
Right, and according to Daniel Jungleman Cates, Rui Cao is actually one of the toughest heads up short deck players.
Well, maybe he's going to try to end this one quickly so he can try and win the short deck event. So Badziakouski has a flush. Can Rui Cao get away from top pair 5 of hearts? I'm thinking no. So he does make the call. He needs to hit a queen or a 10. Or was it an 8? We'll save him because there are more hands that he could lose to. Like this mini 9 combinations. Badziakouski. What I would do from Badziakowski's point of view is target. Think of the hands I want them to call with. A 10, I would bet big. A 9, I would bet big against, right? A jack, I actually don't think will call me, so I'm not going to bet like trying to get a jack to call. So
right.
I think the main ones are 10s and 9s. A queen will occasionally call. So he bets about $1 million, or $2 million. So yeah, he's targeting exactly like the 10s and 9s.
A7 off. Can only beat this. Nah, Kingston off. Whatever.
So Rui now down to about 4 million in chips.
So the dealer button will be first to act, acting as a small blind. Seven-six offsuit. He's gonna opt for a raising strategy.
300.
It wouldn't surprise me if he chips down Rui Cao. He's gonna opt for a limping strategy later. So we're live here. We're on a 30-minute delay. Rui Cao is going to open up Jack 10 of clubs.
Raise 275.
Going to imagine that Badziakouski is going to defend 9-7 offsuit.
Call.
Going to a flop. Not too much for Badziakouski. Should be a bet and a fold.
225. Fold.
So on to the next hand.
Alright, for the short deck event, you have 15-minute break. So you have 15-minute break for a short deck event.
Small blind. Yeah.
It's on you.
So King 4 offsuit versus Jack 5 suited. Usually this is a raise and a call.
Raise 300,000.
Rui playing about 33 big blinds.
Check.
So he flops bottom pair or second pair. See if he decides a continuation bet. He does. Now Rui Cao, Jack 5 of hearts, might opt to make a play. He's got a lot of backdoor potential. If he wants to continue, he can, you know, deuces, sevens, deuces, sixes, and a heart. So that's why he is calling with just Jack 5 high. Occasionally has the best hand. A lot of decent turn cards against a small bet. But a turn is a 3. Doesn't change too much.
Check. Check.
Rivers to Jacks and Rui Cao, Rivers top pair. It's gonna value bet this hand. I wonder what sizing he's gonna go for.
Bet. 900,000.
So he bets 900,000. It's a pot-sized bet. 9-4-3-3 Jack. Now Rui's betting big because he doesn't think Mikita would ever put him on a Jack. So Mikita beats hands like 5-6, 5-7,
5 seconds.
6-7, or the obvious draws. He does make the call and pays off Rui Cao. But if he calls with Jack 5 suited, then he can have a lot more hands than the obvious straight draws. So Rui Cao is chipping up.
So, don't. Be looking.
He's got about 35% of the chips, 45 big blinds.
And he has about a 2-to-1 chip advantage over Rui Cao now. Mikita Badziakouski, Fish 2013 is his online name. He's going to close it out for me, Randy. I'm going to have picked one successfully.
Yeah, that's a great pick from the start. He's been playing excellent poker, but he's got to get through Rui Cao. I feel like a lot of the people are rooting for Rui Cao to win. That's in this poker room right now. Earlier you saw Shanghai Wong walk by to see how Rui Cao was doing.
Rui raises, Badziakouski calls. This is a hand I sometimes would 3-bet out of the big blind.
So far, there have been no re-raise pots. Just kind of both feeling each other out. I do suspect that they will start re-raising. Maybe in about 10 minutes is my estimate. So check and check. Checks is king high. If I'm Rui, I'm checking again on this deuce. He does. River's a 6. Trying to get the showdown ASAP. Badziakouski of king high occasionally will win the pot if it goes check, check. I don't think he'll stab at it.
king high. Deuce.
Lucky 3 outs.
So he's got 64% of the chips in play. Slowly chipping down. In the past 2 heads-up matches here at the Triton series, the chip leader hasn't won the tournament during the heads-up. The one with the more chips. Ivy came back to grind down Jungleman to take the lead. Richard Young grinded Steve O'Dwyer to win the tournament as well. Do you think, is Rui Cao going to be able to grind down Badziakouski? Winner will receive 2.5 million USD. Second place will get 1.68 million USD. So they're playing for about 720,000 US dollars right now.
We just had a
We
break.
just had a break, yeah. We could continue. I mean, we could make it later, right?
Yeah, later.
When someone
Whenever
requests.
we want. Since
Yeah.
it's heads up, you know. It's just
Let's just play.
maybe. Oh, chip race?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Doing race off.
Maybe like.
They're going to be taking the yellow chips out of play here.
Shouldn't take too long.
What is the blind going to be now? 500, sir.
You can talk to us on social media at Triton Poker. Hashtag Triton SHR.
Chip race?
Looks like
You want a chip race or? And why you gave him chip out of my stack?
Because I'm going to pay. I'm going to pay it now.
Okay. So you're gonna pay me 50.
Mikita keeping him honest.
yeah, Badziakouski is it's not really a good tournament director. He's a better poker player. He's a little bit confused about the chip race. You're gonna color up some chips to make things easier to see.
How many yellow did you have?
Both of us had one, so yeah, you want a chip race?
How weird. I have more than what I should have.
I mean, we had like we had 50k total in yellows. So I had 45, you 5, and we got 25k each because you won a chip race. So
You
correct.
should have 4 cards and me 1 card.
Yeah, actually, you should like your chip raise in my 1 chip against his one chip. But
It's
you
your
should
4
do, like,
chip
4
against my
to
1 chip.
You should give me 4 cards
You got
instead.
4?
I mean,
You got 1?
yeah, I had 45k and he got 5k.
Yeah, I got 1 card. It should be him 4 cards, me 1 card.
But I don't know what we should.
3, 6.
Redo. It's okay. Redo it. Redo.
Do it.
Fair.
Yeah. You got 4.
It's a long race off here.
Yeah, it's-
Maybe. What was your card? What was your card? Wait. What was your card?
8.
Maybe I should just get 3 extra cards and that's it.
No, she got
I don't know.
Alright.
Yeah, but then
Whatever. Yeah. Let's
This is the
spin it.
craziest chip race I've ever seen. Okay, that was intense. For how many? How much were we playing for? 25,000.
around 500.
So yeah, just give me 2 stacks.
Okay.
So it's 1 million.
Yeah, that was. I hope it doesn't come down to that one ante that will change the tournament.
400 pounds. Okay. Ready.
Let's play.
Skip the break.
All right, so they're gonna skip the break so you guys can see the action now.
As you can see in the middle of the table, the Triton Super High Roller Trophy that these two players are playing for. Last year, the winner was Minig Lozier, won the main event here in Montenegro. This year it's going to be one of these two. It's either going to be Rui Cao or Mikita Badziakouski, both players. Very, very talented, very good at heads-up poker.
All right, so a lot of pink chips now. Each 100,000. The blue ones are 25,000. So one stack of pink chips is 2 million chips. Flop is Jack Jack 4. Graphics will be back up soon.
So we have a bet and a call here. What do you put these two players on?
Well, I'm not even gonna bother guessing. It's too hard.
I'm going to put Rui Cao on ace high on this board. Badziakouski can have a pretty wide range c-betting that board from the button.
I don't think he has a jack. Probably would have bet the turn if he bet the flop. River's a queen.
Certainly does not have a jack. I expect Badziakouski to actually have quite a bit of air here.
Earlier we saw Rui Cao float out of position with Jack 5 high on 9-3-2, so he can have some bluffs. Therefore, if he has a value hand, he should be betting.
Rui Cao checked to Badziakouski. Badziakouski bets.
8-4 versus King High. Wow, this is a very nice value bet with just bottom pair.
Interesting, yeah.
He knows he's got the best hand.
I don't think Rui's going to look him up, though, with King High, is
Nah,
he?
he's going to
No,
raise
he makes
him.
a raise. Wow.
That's a big raise. 1.2 million.
Once again.
Rui Cao is... This is an aggressive play.
So Rui Cao just trying to represent a jack here that
Well,
check called the flop.
And it has to be a tricky jack, the one that also checked the river,
Right.
looking to check raise.
Right. I'm not sure how credible Rui's line is here, but this is the kind of plays we see from Rui Cao in heads-up poker. Wow,
Makes the call.
Badziakouski makes the call. What a fantastic call
Yeah.
by Mikita.
Nice call.
This guy is very good at sniffing bluffs out.
Mikita just thought that through. He said, you know what, there's such a narrow range of hands that Rui Cao could actually have here for value. He makes a call, and if Rui is doing that with King High, then that's going to be a very profitable call there for Badziakouski, and Badziakouski adding to his chip lead.
Yeah.
So the new blinds are 75,000, 150,000, with 25,000 ante.
He didn't even take that long to make a call. Mikita made that call a lot faster than he made the call with pocket jacks
Yeah,
for 28 big blinds.
seemed pretty confident in this decision. So he's got a good chip lead right now.
Here's 375.
Rui Cao, King Jack of Diamonds against Queen 10 offsuit. Badziakouski's gonna go take a flop here.
Short deck event will resume in 8 seconds. Alright, tournament dealers, your new ante and button is 2,000
So Rui
for
Cao
completion
flops
of the
top
game.
pair. It's gonna
Once again,
continuation bet.
ante 2,000, bonus
250,000.
4,000.
Badziakouski's gonna call her with Queen 10 high. It's often the best hand, but this time he's only got 4% chance to win. Turns 2 pair, but Badziakouski turns an open-ended straight draw. Rui Cao's probably going to bet here again. Top 2 pair. He thinks he can represent a lot of straight draws and flush draws. Trying to get value out of a 6 or a king. 575,000. There's 0 chance that Badziakouski would fold this turn. You know, he can hit an ace, he can hit a 9 to make a straight. But also, he probably thinks he's got the best hand sometimes by check calling here. His opponent could have like 10-9. He could have like Queen 9, 4-5, 5-7. So he's going to make the call. Queen 10 high. River's a jack, so full house for Rui Cao. I think Rui Cao's, he might even consider shoving this river, but whatever he bets, Badziakouski is just going to fold. Because Rui Cao is perceived not to hit that jack very often, because most players don't bet a jack on the turn. They often just check it back. So I expect Rui Cao to make a very big bet here. What do you think? You think he'll bet half pot or all in? Oh, he's going all in.
I think he'll bet big, yeah. I agree with you. Do you think Mikita could have considered shoving the turn?
Well, I think that he actually beats a lot of hands, and he never gets a better hand to fold. Like I said, I don't expect Rui Cao to bet a jack on the turn or a 6 or a 3, so those are the hands you want to fold out. But if they're not betting those hands, well, there's no point trying to fold out those hands.
I think that Rui Cao should be certainly barreling the turn with the stronger jacks.
Sure, but not like 100% of his jacks, right? Like, so like he probably checks back like Jack Deuce or Jack 4.
Right.
So, and then you beat a lot of hands still, actually. A lot of other draws, like I was saying, like the Queen 9s, the 4-5s, the 5-7s, that you can just actually check call here properly.
Bluff catcher.
So he's going to lay that one down.
So right after Rui Cao loses a big pot, he manages to pick up top boat. Starting to get some of those chips back. Nano, so I reached out to a couple of very talented tournament players in the WPT circuit, one of whom wished to remain unnamed, but the other one was Joe McKeon, and both said that they liked the strategy of Mikita when it was three-handed, just shoving all in from the small blind. They said that that's an effective strategy up until the point where if you lose the all-in, you might be in second place. So if Rui Cao had been a little bit deeper and the all-in would have caused the chip stacks to reverse, for example, then they might start doing something different. But given that Mikita had 90 big blinds and Rui Cao only had 30 big blinds, they said they really liked open shoving there, especially with Peter Jetton having the 19 big blinds to really put ICM pressure on them.
I see. Well, first knowledge from some of the best pros out there. Well, here's the question. Do you call with ace-king? That was the question that Rui Cao, Mikita told him to fold.
I should ask that, yeah.
Let's just make sure.
McKeon did say, though, that he would have opened the trashy type hands that Mikita was folding on the button. We saw Joe McKeon, if you tuned into the World Series of Poker, play a very, very aggressive big stack in order to win the World Series of Poker main event with almost no variance. I mean, he really put on a clinic of how to play big stack final table poker.
Yeah, ace-king in pocket eights, right? Those are the hands Mikita was telling Rui Cao to fold. So Mikita doing pretty good. button's going to be Mikita Badziakouski here. In this heads-up match, 2.5 million USD for the winner. He's gonna lay down the nice 9 deuce.
So many buttons for respect.
Did you get yelled at yet for asking about Ace King?
Not yet. And for a reply, I'll try to get a specific range that these players think that Rui should have been calling.
So Rui opens 5-4 offsuit on the button. Mikita Badziakouski of 9-8 offsuit, likely defending. I'm suspecting someone's going to 3-bet someone like in about 7 minutes or so is my guess. I just feel like these two guys know that's in the arsenal.
Well,
and they're kinda
Mikita
waiting.
I think, is going to wait for a hand that's the right kind of hand to 3-bet. Rui
Sure.
may be a little bit more of a feel and timing-based player, so we might see Rui get out of line with some hand that wouldn't qualify as a normal 3-bet range. But Badziakouski picks up a flop he can certainly continue with here. Both players with a gut shot, but Badziakouski has a heart in his hand.
Yeah, so Rui's going to bet something because he just has 5 high.
Yeah, it's a very small bet here.
You can fold out a lot of hands. Like the big blind's defending so wide in heads up. You're just hoping to fold out anything that didn't connect, like Queen 8 of spades.
When you're Mikita here, you may want to raise, and that's what he's doing. Part of the problem with raising here is a lot of times when your opponent continues, they have a higher heart than yours.
And you're not really sure where you're at.
Right.
But if your opponent is going to continuation bet very wide for the small sizing, then raising 9 high is much more effective.
Yeah, I think most of the time I'd be calling on that flop, but Badziakouski with a well-timed bluff raise takes it down. So Mikita just calling, limping here with the 6-4.
Well, Rui Cao's flop trip 8s. A hand you probably would have considered folding to a raise in the big blind. And Rui's setting the trap here. Do you think he check raises or check call here? I personally think I would like check calling from for Rui. The reason I say that is that I've seen Rui check call like jack high type hands and like random high card hands. So I think he can represent a lot more bluffs by actually like check calling, just the way he plays. Some other players who never float high cards, then I prefer check raising because that's would be the normal way to bluff at this spot.
Yeah, I like the check raise there. Mikita with about 70 big blinds, 10.5 million. He has a 2-to-1 chip advantage over Rui Cao right now. These players are competing for about 20 million. It's about 19,600,000 Hong Kong dollars here.
Yeah, the difference is 720,000 USD. It is a big
That's huge.
pay jump right now. Just a pay jump. They've already guaranteed like 1.6 million, I believe, roughly.
Mikita with a hand in the big blind that I'd expect him to 3-bet sometimes. He opts to just flat this hand, so it does seem like Mikita is trying to play a little smaller pots against Rui. Small bet there by Mikita. Rui with the easy call. Mikita now considering a bluff on the river. He knows he's at the bottom of his range. What he's thinking is, are there any hands? What hands is Rui going to fold?
6-5.
He does decide to check.
So they're kind of just throwing little jabs and just taking down little pots right now. You know, the big confrontation hand so far was the Rui Cao check raise with that king 5. But not too much else other than that. On to the next hand. Badziakouski is actually starting to limp on the button. And actually, this is what you usually see when your opponent is getting shorter. But he's doing it when they're getting actually deeper. So it goes check, check on the flop. Check, check on the turn. You know, if someone throws 150,000, they'll win this pot right now.
Jack high.
But Jack High actually shows it down and wins it still.
Oh, that's poker.
So Mikita's got a 2-1 chip lead. There's about 113 big blinds in play right now. Playing for a difference of 6.4 million Hong Kong dollars. It's about a 720,000 USD.
You're going to Vegas?
I guess so. Not 100% sure, but I got a seat for a Super Bowl, so probably gonna play.
Well, if you're gonna win this tournament, I'm pretty sure you should go,
How much playing?
Badziakouski. So, it's asking Rui Cao how deep he's playing.
Around 5, yeah.
You think this is the time he's thinking about the re-raise?
I don't
No,
think so.
not quite there yet.
Not with this hand.
So he flops mid pair. Rui Cao just queen high. He actually checks it back this time. Turns a queen. Mikita's going to check. Rui's going to bet. Can't fold this pair, right? Like, too many draws.
Yeah, no way. Badziakouski's folding the turn.
So it's 450,000. River's a 4. Doesn't really change anything. But Rui Cao's got to love his hand. Like to see him bet about 1.1, 1.2 million. Looks like 900,000, half pot. 1 million even.
I think we'll see Mikita make the call here on the river.
It's a tough spot. Well, his opponent is representing a queen almost always.
Yeah, Mikita's going to lead the turn with a lot of queens and a lot of 9s. So 6 is going to be pretty decent hand, considering the hands that he plays this way.
Yeah,
For
he
that
makes
reason,
a call.
he makes a call. He'll be shown the bad news. Nice hand for Rui Cao. And with that pot, these two players are approaching even in chip counts.
So we got a new dealer here. Final 2 players. Wow, so I'm getting word from Joe McKeon that he would fold ace-king for 31 BB. That, in his opinion, ICM dictates that you should fold there. The other person I'm talking to says, well, you know, you got to fold it at a certain point. It depends on Jetton's stack. So in that instance, Jetton had about 10 big blinds.
Oh, he had about 10 big blinds. He said that there's a certain point, certainly when Jetton gets down to 2, 3, 4 big blinds, yeah, you fold ace-king, right?
But so you're telling me someone says to fold ace-king for 31 big blinds of ace-king, huh? I see. Can you? Oh, you said it was Joe McKeon.
Well, both players said that there is a stack depth that Jetton can be at which they would fold ace-king for 31 big blinds. McKeon specifically said that with Jetton having as few as 10 or 15 big blinds even, he would fold and wait it out.
Yeah, well,
So,
it sounds like
some very talented players.
I will be shoving all in a lot, and
Yeah.
if I ever get to play him heads up or three-handed.
Exactly. It sounds like out of the small blind there, Mikita should, like, there was that other hand that he limped. Maybe he should have just open shoved that as well.
So they are playing for about 800,000 USD right now.
Check. Bet 350.
So Rui Cao flops a straight flush draw. So, and Badziakouski has 8-6 and is continuing. Paris is 8. Rui Cao with a pair of 8s as well. 1.5 million chips in the middle.
Check.
Check from Badziakouski. I think his flop check call seems slightly loose. Just 8-6 high. Goes check check on the turn. River's a 7, so actually Badziakouski makes a straight. Rui Cao with 2 pair on a very not fun board. I wonder if Badziakouski decides to bet.
Yeah, he'll be betting here.
I like to see him bet, and the reason is I don't think he should be worried about the jack that often. Most players will bet a jack on a turn when there's 2 flush draws. So he can safely value bet this river.
I think we'll see him choose a small sizing here. It's really difficult for Mikita to have air here.
900.
He bets 900, actually above half the pot.
Rui does make a good laydown. I wonder if Mikita had bet smaller, if he would have gotten a call there from Rui Cao.
Maybe. Maybe not.
It's hard. It is hard to call down their bottom 2 pair, right? Like, you need to usually hope your opponent is turning a hand into a bluff to pick off. So like,
King 10.
what, like a 10 deuce or something like that?
King 9, King 10.
You or me?
I beat that.
Yeah, Rui Cao trying to go over the hands that he beats. He's saying King 9, King 10.
Call. Option. Check.
And Mikita, who's been limping some buttons, chooses to limp the pocket jacks here.
Check.
Rui, though, not getting out of line with 9 deuce in the big blind.
I find the limp a little bit interesting, given that I don't think Rui has raised Badziakouski's limps yet, so it doesn't seem as effective right now.
Well, we did see Rui earlier when it was 3-handed, and it was a much different dynamic, obviously, raise over Mikita's limp, and it's possible that Mikita's being fed information on breaks from the live stream and knows that.
Well, they've been checking down to the river. I'd like to see Mikita bet this one. I think he can get called by a 10 or a 9. Rui showing signs he does not have an ace. Usually doesn't have a queen. So I'd like to see a small bet. So he's going to fire about 275. It's a
275.
pretty big bet, actually, relative to the pot. Rui actually rivers a pair of 9s.
Rui trying to figure out what hands would Mikita not bet on the flop, not bet on the turn. What bluffs are there for Mikita to have? Would he check a queen on the turn?
5 seconds.
He certainly would check 10s on the turn.
Makes the call.
Go jacks.
Worst option.
Badziakouski grinding his chip stack up to almost a 2-to-1 chip advantage again over Rui Cao.
Blocks and bluffs.
These two players bought into this tournament for 1 million Hong Kong dollars. They're playing for a grand prize of 19.6 million Hong Kong dollars. This tournament got a total of 63 entries. Now we're seeing Rui Cao limp his button. It's interesting we're seeing so much limping between these two players on the button.
Check. Bet 150. Fold.
Rui Cao with 6 million in chips right now. 41 big blinds. He's chipping away slowly at Mikita. You think Badziakouski is going to win this tournament? We'll see if he can take it down. He never became a short stack during the final table so far.
I
today.
picked him from the beginning. I think he's only in for one bullet. Hopefully he can close it out.
9-7 diamonds. He's going to
375.
raise on the button. Rui Cao, Queen 8 of clubs.
Call.
So far we haven't seen one 3-bet in this heads-up match, Randy.
Yeah, I was expecting it to happen a lot by now, actually. But they're pretty content in just playing these small pots.
Check.
So Rui actually flops a pretty good flush draw here.
I wonder if Mikita's going to put this hand in his check back range on this board.
I haven't seen him check back these flops yet in this match. My read is no, but maybe he will this time. No, he's not going to. He's going to bet 250,000. So Rui's going to check call. Turn is a 3.
Check.
Can't imagine Badziakouski do anything but just giving up. So he does check. So Rui rivers a pair of 8s. Is this worth a value bet? I like to think it is because a lot of times an ace would just bet again on the turn. Most people aren't going to stab on this river card unless they're trying to move you off of like a king high type hand. So he is going to bet 250,000. It's almost a min bet. He's just trying to get Badziakouski to call with king high. I think if he was targeting a 4, he might have bumped it up a little bit more. Oh, it's 350, excuse me. Badziakouski just has 9 high though. Don't really know what he can do, but I guess use his shot clock and fold.
5 seconds.
That's what he's going to do.
It's to bluff raise.
Raise 375.
Two players remaining, playing for about 820,000 USD. This was a million Hong Kong dollar buy-in, equating to about 127,000 US dollars.
Raise 375. Cut. Check.
Mikita here with just 7 high. Imagine we'll see him. Continuation bet on this board. As you pointed out, Randy, he has been bluffing on many ace-high flops.
Yeah, he's kind of like transitioned to a high continuation bet strategy rather than checking back and, you know, kind of, I guess, splitting your ranges a bit more.
Well, he hasn't seen his opponent, Rui Cao, get too out of line in terms of the check raising, so that could play into Mikita's strategy. In fact, I don't think we've seen either of these players make a check raise on the flop so far in this heads-up match.
Call 150.
Now, Rui Cao just limping the button with Queen-Jack offsuit.
Check.
Gita says, let's take a flop.
So
Check.
Badziakouski actually flops 2 pair, and Rui Cao's got an open and a straight draw.
Yeah, this is an action flop here.
And it's actually a limp pot. I think Badziakouski's got a check raise here. There's a lot of hands that can continue. So he is going to check raise. About 500,000.
500,000.
Yeah, I like this raise here from Mikita, but Rui's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, Rui's likely to call, take it in position. No reason to pop it up again.
Call.
Turn is a 6. Badziakouski going to try and bet and represent a flush draw, a straight draw. It's probably going to go at least 900,000. But it's possible that he bets smaller if he thinks his opponent has a 10, because it is a limp pot. That makes sense for Rui to have a 10, but he can have a king as well. Holding a king in your hand makes your opponent more likely to have a 10. So looks like he's betting, what, 1.1?
1.1.
1,100,000.
So it was a big bet.
Big bet here. If I know Rui Cao, though, he's not letting this hand go.
Well, it definitely seems like a fine spot to call in position. Occasionally you have the best hand when your opponent has like a hand like 7-8 of diamonds. Or Jack-9 of diamonds. Or I guess not Jack-9 of diamonds because of blockers. So he's going to make the call and see what happens on the river.
Huge pot brewing here.
River is a 4. Now, Badziakouski most likely just going to bet himself on the river because he expects a king and a 10 to insta-check back if it's not two pair. I wonder if there's merit to checking and trying to get missed flush draws and missed straight draws to bet instead.
If I'm Mikita here, I'm going for a bet. I want to represent that I have a missed flush draw or missed straight draw.
5 seconds.
3 million.
3 million.
So he bets 3 million. Rui Cao's just got to fold this queen jack high.
Fold.
Now Mikita Badziakouski with 72 big blinds, about 10.75 million chips here from Belarus.
Never lose.
Huh?
King deuce, never lose.
Just letting Rui Cao know what he had last hand. He's being honest.
Yeah, could have been very fun.
Rui saying that could have been very fun if a 9 came off, or perhaps an ace.
Yeah, fun for him. Now Mikita's got ace king suited on dealer button.
Right. 350. Call.
So both players flopping a piece. Rui Cao middle pair. It's going to check call the flop. There's no reason Badziakouski will start checking if he's been betting all of his bad hands on the flop.
Bet 250.
Betting the same sizing he's been doing with the other hands. Keeping it consistent. So Rui's going to make the call here, Queen 9. Turn is a 7.
Check.
Badziakouski likely to bet again. There's a lot of hands he can get value from. 10-8, 10-9, 7-10, 7-6, 8-6. I can name them all. Just needs to start betting, keep betting.
5 seconds.
So Badziakouski taking maximum time as usual.
750.
Rui Cao in a tough spot here. He actually makes a very nice laydown very quickly.
Wow.
There were a lot of draws out there, but correctly deduced that Badziakouski wasn't bluffing here.
Yeah, I think that's a spot where on the turn Rui Cao is going to continue with some hands that have worse absolute value, but have a draw. Such as 9-Jack, 9-10, 8-10, 8-Jack.
Right, in case you were wrong, you got more equity.
So if you're just tuning in now, we're coming to you live from the Maestral Resort and Casino in beautiful Montenegro. This is the main event of the Triton Super High Roller Series. This tournament started with 63 entries. We are now down to the final 2. They're playing heads up for the trophy that you can see in the middle of the table, as well as 19.6 million Hong Kong dollars. Comes out to approximately 2.4 million US dollars.
Check, check. Check. Check.
River is a 10. Rui Cao's rivered Badziakouski. is a check down pot so far. Actually, Badziakouski's going to value bet a 5.
Yeah, he's going for thin value here.
This is very thin. It's going to get called.
5.
Show him the 10. Actually, probably save Badziakouski a little bit of chips. I think Rui Cao would have sized up a little bit more than 150K.
This is event number 3 of this Triton Super High Roller Series. Event number 1 was a 250,000 Hong Kong dollar short deck event that we saw Phil Ivey win. Event number 2 was a no limit hold'em 6 max event. The buy-in was 250,000 Hong Kong dollars, and the winner of that event was Richard Yong.
So Badziakouski is going to open up the Queen 7 offsuit. Rui is going to be happy to 3-bet and get this one in. Pocket 9s is one of the premium hands in heads-up hold'em.
Will this be the first 3-bet we've seen in this heads-up match?
It is the first 3-bet, and he's got pocket 9, so it makes a lot of sense.
950,000.
He's going to just lay this one down.
A pretty small size there on the 3-bet.
So chip counts here. Mikita has 71 big blinds. Rui Cao has 32 big blinds in this heads-up match.
Since these two players got heads up, Mikita has had the chip advantage the whole time. They got very, very close in chips for a certain point in time, but now Mikita has pulled back out ahead, and he now has over a 2-to-1 chip advantage over Rui Cao.
Check. Check.
So we have another limped pot here. We've seen a lot of limped pots. Both players flopping something. Rui with a flush draw. Badziakouski with an inside straight draw. I was wondering if we'd see Mikita call or raise in this spot. He chooses to raise it up. Easy call for Rui Cao with the flush draw. Turn card is a deuce. That's no help for either player, but it's going to be fun to see how this hand transpires if Badziakouski will continue to fire here with his gut shot to the 7.
Well, he's got 2 overcards to the middling cards, so while a lot of times your 8 or 9 will be good if your opponent's trying to call you with like King 6 or King 5 type hand.
Okay.
1.5 million in the pot. 1.2 million.
Mikita continuing with his bluff here. Very large bet. Rui Cao with a flush draw, though, is not going to go anywhere. I imagine we'll see him call the turn. Wow, he lets it go. Surprised by that.
Lays down the best hand. In a tough spot when you just got 10 high.
Would you have expected him to call the turn there with 7-10 of clubs, or do you like that fold?
I expected him to call because he's got position and kind of can react to, you know, what Mikita does. A lot of funny scenarios can happen. Well, sometimes Mikita will check and you can bluff. Sometimes you'll hit your hand. Yeah, a lot of tricky spots.
400，还有1000多。
Alright, so Badziakouski limps on the button with 9-5 offsuit. You're gonna take a free flop. So Rui turns 2-pair and Badziakouski looking for an 8, but I don't think he can continue this weak draw. So he's got 27% of the chips in play now. He was doing much better earlier.
I always put one too much. Weird.
So Rui, see what he does on the button. I think he limped. So I'm gonna take a free flop. Both players don't have too much. Rui Cao with king high. It's gonna bet and take this one down usually.
Randy, why do you think it is that these two players are limping so many hands on the button?
I just like with 20-something big blinds, you basically extend the stack to pot ratio. They both feel they have a strong post-flop edge. If they raise every button, you can actually reshove on someone very wide and very profitably. So they're trying to avoid that situation when there's like 20 big blinds left.
So it sounds like both players in position want to keep stacks deeper because they think they have an edge against their opponents the deeper the stacks are when they're in position.
I mean, that is definitely true. And like I said, if you raise every single button, I can shove so wide on you and there's nothing you can really do about it. So you'll actually notice a lot of cap game players, they will limp. They'll have a limping strategy in those heads-up matches. So Badziakouski opens ace-8 of diamonds. Rui's got 5-4 offsuit. He's gonna lay that one down. So a bit of grinding right now.
Are we having a break now? How many minutes left?
It's up to you anyway. Doesn't matter. When you want to take a break, we can discuss. I mean, it's just.
And we can do it after this level.
Okay.
Makes more sense. How much do you want to make it? The break? 5, 10, 15, up to you.
5 minutes.
Okay.
So they're gonna shorten the break. Now ace deuce here. Since Rui's been limping some buttons, I probably don't really like anything but calling here. So he is going to make the call.
At 25 big blinds deep, Mikita does call the big blind.
A good spot, ace high board. Most players have been continuation, but Rui's actually checking now, so he's adapting. Badziakouski, should he bet or check here with the pair of aces? It depends on what he thinks Rui would do with his bluffs. Would he consider c-betting the flop as a bluff, or would he do a delayed continuation bet? And what would he do with his middling hands?
Yeah, I think you could go either way here.
So he's going to try to get value out of a king or a 6 or a 7. Pretty small bet, actually. Rui's going to make a play. He's raising.
I don't
Queen
understand
5.
this at all.
He's trying to represent two pair, like king 7, king 6, 6, 7, and pocket 7s.
Also, perhaps he's trying to tell his opponent, hey, I checked back the world on the flop. It's possible Rui could have checked back top or second set.
It's definitely possible. It's the first time Badziakouski have seen this. I think Rui's been kind of waiting for a spot to make a play.
Yeah, Rui checked back the flop because he had queen high. That's a good check back, and then on the turn, he's just...
It makes no sense to Badziakouski, so that's why he's calling here. River's a 4.
4 of spades, so the flush draw gets there.
I don't think Badziakouski would fold here, because he probably expects Rui Cao to bet the flop of a flush draw a reasonable amount of the time. So this is going to be a tough bluff to get through.
Yeah, I think that Rui's really going to want to bluff this river for a couple reasons. One reason is he has a spade in his hand. The other reason is
he's shoving.
Wow, he moves all in.
That's an overbet shove. 3.1 million into 2.3.
Rui Cao moving all in here.
Rui Cao is predicting that Badziakouski actually doesn't even have an ace that often. Maybe a hand like... The way he bets so small on the turn makes it seem like he's got a king. So he thinks that this is another scare card for Badziakouski.
Once again.
3,050,000.
I think Rui Cao is hoping that Badziakouski would fold an ace here.
Well, Badziakouski's got 2 time bank chips to see if he can close this one out. He makes a call and is correct. This tournament is over.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 6 spot for Badziakouski. He caught Rui bluffing earlier. It was a little bit of a different spot. Rui just bluff raised the river.
So he's using a time bank chip.
He's asking himself, would Rui really check back the flop if he flopped top 2 or top set or a set of kings, for example?
Rui's representing very few hands, but then again, he's also representing very few logical bluffs in terms of hitting hands, right? Like 8-9, I suppose.
Right, I think 8-9, 8-10, and 9-10 would be the big hands.
But he doesn't even have that, so he's actually got way more bluffs. He's got queen 5 offsuit, no connection.
Having said that, if you're going to raise the turn and you're Rui Cao, I really like following through on this river.
It's a tricky spot. Mikita's thinking about, okay, well, how would Rui Cao play 2 pair? How would he play like a single ace? How would he play a flush draw? I think he thinks that some flush draw sure plays this way, but he also thinks that some will just bet the flop. He's having a lot of trouble deciding what hands Rui Cao can have. He's going to make the call.
Wow, what a call by Mikita Badziakouski.
And Mikita wins it. Rui Cao eliminated on a stone-cold bluff.
Good game.
Good game.
Good game.
Shula.
Rui Cao gets second place for 13,217,000 Hong Kong dollars, winning 1.68 million USD. Mikita Badziakouski, the winner, 19,618,000 Hong Kong dollars, winning 2.5 million USD. It's going to be the Triton series
main event champion.
To Mikita Badziakouski from Belarus.
Very, very, very well played.
Very
I'm
well
impressed.
played. Randy, I picked him to win very early on. He ended up closing it out for me. We'll go to Tatiana.
Mikita, congratulations.
Thanks.
Is your secret to winning a tournament playing cash games until 6 a.m. the night before?
No, it's just the way it worked today. Got lucky.
And now your friends can no longer call you fish.
Actually, there will be always jokes about it, so.
Are you gonna hop in the short deck now?
Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do.
Of course you are. Well, congratulations then. I won't hold you up.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Tatiana. Mikita Badziakouski, the winner of the 2018 Triton Super High Roller Series main event for $19,618,400 Hong Kong dollars. We saw a lot of very interesting play here today. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back with coverage of the final event, the fourth event of this series. It's a 1 million Hong Kong dollar buy-in short deck event. I'm Kane Callis, alongside me, Randy Liu. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back soon.